A very good evening and a warm welcome to the National Digital Library of India Club's 11th global event. I'm Dr. Vignesh and I'm part of the National Digital Library of India team. On behalf of the National Digital Library, we would like to thank each of the 2,624 NDLA clubs that have joined today for this session. And this is the 11th in the series of global events that the NDLA has been organizing. And today we have gathered to listen to our expert speaker, Shri Abhishek Singh, IAS officer, who has over 26 years of government experience. And I had a brief opportunity of knowing Abhishek sir during my days at Indira Gandhi National Open University and at the Common Services Center, CSE Governance Services India Limited. And during my interaction, I found him very finest civil servants that the country has ever had. And he's a strategic thinker, visionary leader, and an amazing father. And he is going to talk to us today about, can India become the artificial intelligence AI superpower? Now, I would like to invite Professor Partha Pradim Chakravarti, who is the key architect of this National Digital Library of India, to deliver the welcome address and introductory remarks. Over to Professor Chakravarti.
Thank you, Dr. Vignesh. On behalf of the National Digital Library of India, it is my great pleasure to welcome all of you to this session, which I expect to be a very interesting session. It is my honor and privilege to welcome Sri Abhishek Singh, who is an officer of the 1995 batch of IAS with diverse experience in government and policy formulation with regards to use of technology for improving governance. And what could be a better day and time to talk about it when we want to combine artificial intelligence with public service? He is presently the CEO of MyGov, and I'm sure many of you who have watched the social media have received information and messages from MyGov, especially during the pandemic time, and how the nation and the government was trying to mobilize everything at its disposal to communicate to people, to inform people, and to make people aware. He also has the additional charge of President and CEO of the National E-Governance Division, and he is the MD and CEO of Digital India Corporation. All of these together make a combination that is an extremely responsible position, a position by which we can really take many steps to reach the nation's last mile. MyGov is a citizen engagement forum of Government of India and enables participative governance. In this, in his role as the National E-Governance Division head, he enables many things, including coordinating projects related to Digital India, DigiLocker Umang, through which the National Digital Library also communicates with a large number of people, geoinformatics, providing spatial information, spatiotemporal information. He also has been leading the effort on the communications on COVID-19, which has been truly remarkable. He has done his master's in public administration from the Harvard Kennedy School of Government as a Mason Fellow in May 2013, and both of us belong to that same club. He is also a BTech and MTech in mechanical engineering from IIT Kanpur, and I am from IIT Kharagpur. He has worked in diverse states from the northeast, like Nagaland, to the heartland of Uttar Pradesh. Today, we welcome him because he has been the forerunner of certain events of the government which lead to the use, dissemination, and public service through use of artificial intelligence and its potential. And India is so uniquely poised because India has the requirement, the need, the unique challenge of using AI in the most effective manner. And it has got the capability and capacity of people like Sri Abhishek Singh to do so. We welcome Abhishek Singh, CEO of MyGov and NEGD, and also MD and CEO of Digital India Corporation, a person I respect a lot, a person I know very well. And therefore, now the floor is open to Abhishek to take over and enlighten all of us, especially this young crowd of digital clubs. So let me just tell you a little bit about the digital club. The National Digital Library is now reaching out directly to a large base of students through these National Digital Library clubs. And these clubs are now creating, collaborating, cooperating, and communicating information. So they would be the most excited breed who would be the next generation Indians. And I request Abhishek that you take them through what AI is doing, can do, and what is the potential and what we expect from them to do. Thank you. Abhishek, over to you.
Thank you, sir, and thank you, Vignesh, for introducing me and giving me this platform when I can connect with young club members of NDLI. NDLI, we all know, is serving such a great service to people by making accessible digital content, digital journals, books, everything for which. Earlier, in fact, I remember, and Professor Chakravarti Partha will agree, that when we used to go to the library just to search for a particular content in a particular book, in a particular shelf, on a particular full floor of the library, it used to be a big effort. And very often one would not know, and to find it in the catalog and then go there and look into, go there. Sometimes what would happen in that request or searching for a book is that we would find a book or a content that we were not looking for. So accidental discovery of knowledge used to be the norm, which has now been replaced with the digital discovery of stuff, which becomes very easy, and we are able to Google, or we are able to use to go to a service like NDLI and zero down on what we want and get what we want. So while there are some advantages, there are something that one misses out is discovering things that you are not looking for and learning things that you would otherwise missed out. So there are pros and cons, but in the whole thing. But NDLI, anyone who has used it, especially people living in remote areas, people who don't have access to libraries like IITs have, find a great service with the content that is available on NDLI. With that, I would like to come to the topic for the day with regard to how AI is shaping in India, and can India become an AI superpower. So to keep my talk structured and to ensure that I don't exceed the time limit given, what I will do is that I will share a few slides, and so that way it will become easier to navigate for the benefit of the audience as well as for myself. So let me try to share my screen. Entire screen. No, this is. How do I share my PPT? No, no, no. Can I? Why don't I see my PPT screen? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Is my presentation visible now? Vignesh, can you see my slides?
Yes, sir. It is visible, sir.
Okay, okay, okay. So making India the artificial intelligence superpower. So when we look at artificial intelligence and the India opportunities, see, the broad lines was that there are few. I think last year there was a report which said that India has the potential of adding $1 trillion to its digital economy by 2035. And since we are aiming for a $5 trillion economy, it amounts to almost 20% of what we are targeting for. We have a very strong AI startup ecosystem, with almost 2,700 AI startups which have raised a lot of money, almost 1 trillion, almost $1 billion of funding they have raised in the last year only.
Sir,
And then when we look at,
there's only black screen in the presentation, sir.
is it
Yeah.
now
Even now it is only black screen.
blank screen?
Yeah.
Now,
Now it has gone, sir. It is not visible.
okay, let me. Is it visible?
Yes, sir. Now it is visible, sir.
Is the size of the screen presentation okay?
Yeah, now it is fine. Now
Shall
I
I go
can
to
see.
slide? Now you can
Yes.
see. Now,
No, once you click on the full screen, it is going blank.
okay, then I will not click on the full screen.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Once. Now it's okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so then I will change the slides from the side screen, but it's visible, right? And is the slide changing? Hello?
Yes, sir. It is changing, but it
Yeah.
is very small.
Is it on the second slide or no?
It is on the second slide. Artificial intelligence, the India opportunity.
Correct. But it's
Yeah.
small, not visible.
Yeah, it's very small. Now,
Oh.
if you can make it full screen, let's see. Because of the screen color, maybe that is the problem. If you could just see, we can.
Like this? Is the slide changing?
Yes, slide is changing, but it's too small in font size.
Oh. It's not going on the slideshow now.
Hmm.
If I go on slideshow,
Just try with white background. No, when you go on slideshow, it's becoming dark.
is it a because the tip came that use Chrome. I was using Mozilla.
Maybe that is one of the reasons.
Shall I exit and come to Chrome?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay, then let me exit and let me try entering with Chrome.
sure. Sir. Dear participants, kindly wait for a few minutes as our resource person will join from another browser shortly. Kindly wait for a few minutes. Yes, sir. We can see.
Yeah, let me try to share again. Now,
Now it is perfect. Now it is visible. Now the full screen
perfect
has
size
been.
also. Okay, okay, okay. So what I was trying to say was that there have been reports which says that India can add AI can help India add almost $1 trillion economy to our digital economy by 2035, and we have a strong startup ecosystem in the field of AI with more than 2,700 AI-based startups raising almost $1 billion last year. The overall share of AI startups in our startup ecosystem is almost 7.5%. And when it comes to AI-based talent and hiring in research, India is one of the top 5 countries when it comes to AI talent in hiring AI-based workforce, and we are almost third in the research. And the number and some of these examples with regard to various sectors, these are just agriculture, healthcare, education, urban planning, mobility. These are some of the AI-based startups which are working in this field, and I will, as we go ahead, I'll be giving some examples with regard to the kind of work some of these startups are doing. Now the question comes is that what has led to this sudden boom in AI? AI has been like around for quite some time. It's not something which is new. AI has been there for years, but in the last few years, because of few developments, one is with the rapid digitization, there has been explosive growth of data. Like the amount of data that's estimated by 2025 is almost 163 zettabytes. And then the other thing that has happened is that the cost of storing data has come down greatly. And the third thing that has happened is that the ability to process the data that's available has grown multifold, and the computing power has grown up. At the same time, the cost of storing data and processing the data is has come down. So this leads to people being able to develop solutions based on data, which can help drive services. And what people are using it for is that the philosophy that we have in India's national strategy, and as we have been advocating globally for India's AI policy, is that AI should be used for social empowerment, AI should be used for public good, AI should be used for improving access to healthcare, allowing better diagnosis, allowing people access to health services where super specialist doctors are not available, allowing for financial growth, detecting financial fraud, using AI for a real-time advisory to farmers, for building smart cities, and for the most important, for in India's context, for because we are a large country with multiple languages being spoken, and very often if you travel from say Kharagpur to Chennai, sometimes it may become very difficult to communicate with people of our own country. The language changes, and the way we speak, the way we write changes. So there is AI can help build NLP tool, the natural language processing tools, which would allow seamless communication wherever we are from. And globally, if we see, like globally, the AI is being focused by almost every country. Whichever country that we look at is investing a lot of money in AI research and AI development, building capacities in the field of AI. So whether it's China, which is one of the China and the US remain one of the top superpowers in the field of AI, but the amount of investment these companies are making, because this is going to be the anyone who controls data and anyone who controls AI based solutions will have a lot of power in the days to come. They will be able to build companies for the future. They will be able to create jobs for the future, and gain not only economic power but strategic power also. So apart from the US and the China, we are also seeing countries like South Korea, Europe, UK, Canada. All of them are investing heavily in AI related research and AI related projects. When you look at global leaders, country rankings, India stands almost 17th at the Oxford AI Readiness Index when it comes to government AI Readiness Index. But in the Stanford AI Vibrancy Index, we are number 2, ahead of China. And this is primarily because of the strength that we have with regard to AI trained workforce that we have, and the number of AI startups that we have in our country. So this shows that we have the potential to become one of the best in the field of AI, which can develop solutions which can service not only India but the whole world. So when we look at the AI opportunity for India, so globally we are recognized in IT superpower. Like our outsourcing, we are one of the top IT outsourcing nations in the world, and almost half of the Fortune 500 companies, they outsource their IT to India. And we have a lot of AI based student startups and AI based trained manpower that are available. So these are these workforce are the companies that we have in the field of AI can provide AI based solutions to everyone. Over and above, what we have done is that domestically also, since we have a huge market, and the initiatives that have been taken in the last few years, whether it's with regard to building up the world's biggest identity database in the form of Aadhaar, or the GSTN network, or the UPI payment gateway, which had almost $100 billion transactions in the last month. Then we are building the National Digital Health Mission, or the agriculture ecosystem that we are building, education platform that is being built by Ministry of Education, and the technology commons platform. So what the endeavor now is to build platforms on which other solutions can be built in, and all these solutions are leading to a lot of data, which is further leading to creating a huge AI market. So India's national strategy of AI focuses on this, on the global strengths that we have, plus the domestic opportunity that we have, plus using it to make India the AI garage of the world, in a way the AI back office, and ensure that we are able to build solutions for the world over and create value for our country, for our economy, as also create employment for our AI trained workforce. So what makes India as the go-to country for that, apart from our strength, is that the data that we are generating. Today, we are generating more data than any other country in the world. And the number of reasons for that is that we are one of the countries, the largest smartphone penetration, so which has grown up rapidly in the last 7-8 years. If we see, the smartphone penetration has gone up by more than 6 to 7 times. Monthly data consumption has also gone up. We have one of the lowest data data rates in the world. Like, it's the cheapest in India. We have seen a lot of information in regard to this, slides and all, that it costs minimum money to consume per GB of data, because of the massive expansion of the mobile based internet. So this all gives India a huge advantage for using the data that is available for building solutions. So in numbers, if you look at in the last 6 years, almost 135% annualized growth rate. From 16 exabytes to we have gone to 11.8 exabytes data per month from 2015 to 2021. Then we are accounting for almost 20% of the global data flows, and our size, scale, and diversity makes this data the most valuable globally. So if somebody has to build up, say, suppose an AI based solution for detecting breast cancer, the kind of ultrasound image, the kind of images that will be available, radiography images and ultrasound images that will be available for in India for doing the modeling, will be more than any other country in the world. Similarly, in the field of tuberculosis, if somebody is developing a solution, then the data that is available here can be used to build such models which can have AI based applications. So, and how are we using this data? So Government of India has an open data portal, data.gov.in, wherein a lot of data sets are populated there. Various ministries and state governments have chief data officers who ensure that data as per laid down standards are published on the open data portal for anyone to use. So data.gov.in is the open government data portal of Government of India, which has got more than 5 lakh data sets, and 1 lakh APIs are there for consuming those data sets. And this helps in using those data for building any application relating to AI. And now we are also in the process of building up a data exchange, which will allow data which is generated by any public authority to be freely made available for any use. Then we also have the non-personal data sharing framework, which is coming up. The Krish Gopalakrishnan committee has given their recommendation, which will allow for even sharing of non-personal data in an anonymized format, which can be used for building solutions. So, for example, if somebody wants to build a solution in agriculture, if he has access to land records data, if he has access to weather data, if he has access to crop history data, if he has access to soil health card data, then by using all this data, one can build up a solution which will help give customized advisories to farmers. Because once you are able to map these things, then you will get to know which combination of cropping pattern, dates of sowing, depending on the weather conditions, will give the maximum yield. So those kind of solutions are possible once the data is freely and easily available. Then a lot of research, a lot of investment has been made in research and innovation. Also, the Vishwasaraya scheme for under PhD scheme, which METI runs, also takes up a lot of research scholars in the field of artificial intelligence. Then STPI and NASSCOM have set up Center for Excellence in Data and AI, which is helping create value for and AI and data related projects. CBSE has launched its curriculum in the field of AI, and along with CBSE, we are implementing a project in which 1 million students, school students, are being trained in the field of use of AI. So that will lay down the foundations of artificial intelligence right from the school level, which will help us in the long run for building an AI ready workforce. The public data platforms about which I spoke about this, we are all aware of how the Aadhaar or the GEM portal, the UPI or the GSTN, or the most recent, the COVID vaccination platform, is not only helping deliver digital services, but it's also producing a lot of data. Like, for example, COVID portal, which is the COVID portal wherein we get to know about like how many people have got vaccinated, how many people have got both the doses. This also gives insights with regard to where do we need to take steps, like especially for a program like COVID vaccinations, wherein you have to give 2 doses at a specified intervals. You need to have proper data available to build up to ensure that advisories are given for people to come and take the second dose. They don't miss the vaccination schedules. They follow the prescribed time interval required. So all this data helps in building solutions which can be used in multiple ways. Now, of course, based on the experience of this, we are building this vaccination platform into a universal vaccination platform, so that even the children who are after their birth, they are given the basic vaccinations like BCG, DPT, polio, tetanus, MMR. That data will also be available on the vaccination platform, and it will ensure that universal immunization is done properly, And once this entire data is made available to health authorities, one can build solutions for ensuring that if somebody is not taking, or if there is some block or some village or some district which is lacking in vaccination, corrective measures can be taken. So there are a lot of applications once big data becomes available in easy to access form. The integration of fast tags with GSTN, with e-way bills, is helping us plug financial fraud. So like if somebody is not paying GSTN, but he's sending goods through the highways, then the data with regard to crossing the toll roads through the FASTag comes to the government, and it can be used to ensure that GSTN compliance is ensured. So a lot of availability of digital data makes lots of applications possible, which was not possible earlier. And all this availability of data and applications of AI will ultimately contribute to our $5 trillion economy. And when we break it down into several sectors, we see like AI in agriculture, how it can help precision agriculture, how can it can help in crop planning, how can ensuring that if there is a drought or if there is some other reason that can result in crop failure, suitable actions can be taken in time. So AI based modeling will ensure that, and this will help in doubling of farmers income, which has been our goal. AI in energy, like energy demand prediction, rationalization, use of smart meters will really help in ensuring that renewable energy and is used along with the conventional modes of energy. Then when we look at AI in logistics, recently the Gati Shakti project was launched by government, wherein a lot of convergence is happening with regard to data that's coming from highways, railways, then water transport and airways, and using and integrating that with geospatial data can help us in planning the logistics exercise better. Then road construction, a lot of asset management and a lot of using making availability of resources in a timely manner is helping expedite the pace at which roads are constructed, as also reduce the cost of constructions. Financial services is the big application of AI, detecting financial frauds, ensuring that credits is extended to the people who are deserving, people who are paying their bills on time. The AI based models can predict that this person will have a greater credit worthiness and ensure easy and faster availability of credit, which will further push forward the economy. Then healthcare, we all know there are a lot of applications. I will give some examples in the next few slides. Similarly, MSMEs also are using AI based solutions for improving their productivity, improving manufacturing, detecting defects in the manufactured product, and ensuring that overall quality of output improves. Then based on applications in various sectors, it's estimated, this is a NASCOM report, which indicates that we can add almost $500 billion to our GDP by 2025 by using AI based solutions. The breakup in various sectors is also given in this slide. I will be sharing the slide, so I will not go into the detail of that, but yes, the idea is that the overall dream of $1 trillion digital economy and the objectives of reaching to up to $5 trillion economy depends a lot in easy availability of AI based solutions. Then the question comes is that when all this is there and all this sounds so good, like we have the data, we have the compute capability, we have the skilled manpower, then why is it that we are not yet the best among the world? Why is it that we are lagging behind China and the United States? So there are a couple of, to my mind, I think there are two sectors in which we need more investments, and those two I would identify them as lack of supercomputing systems. So like compute infrastructure, because when you run algorithms on big data, we require very robust compute infrastructure. Unfortunately, we are much behind the China and the US when it comes to availability of high-end computing infrastructure. If you look at the 500 fastest supercomputers in the world, India has only a few there. China has got more than 200 of them, but India would have maybe two or three. Recently, CDAC had built the Param Siddhi, which is one of the fastest. But yes, given our size and magnitude, size and complexity and the requirements, we need to make more investments into that. The Erawat project the CDAC is working on is work in progress. Is being done, but we need much more that. In fact, almost all IITs should have supercomputing infrastructure available so that the students can run their algorithms and test their models in order to build AI-based solutions. And the other field in which we lack is is the availability of is in the field of core and applied research. So when we look at the data with regard to citable documents or citations per document, we are quite behind China and United States. So again, we need to increase funding in research. We need to provide support to our institute, to top institutions for taking up research scholars in the field of AI. Because once that is done, then that only will help build applications with the entrepreneurs, which can be applied for greater use. So these are the two fields in which we really need to invest. It's not that we have not been working towards that. In fact, there have been a lot of deliberations which have been happening within the government for trying to address these issues. The national strategy on AI, which was published a few years back by Niti Aayog, identified these focus areas and worked out possible solutions also. Last year, in fact, we had a global summit on artificial intelligence, which is one of the largest such summits on AI, which had participation from more than 100 countries, and it discussed the way forward and the roadmap for India and the world with regard to use of AI. Last year, we also became one of the founder members of the Global Partnership on Artificial Intelligence, the meetings of which, the third meeting of which is happening today in Paris. We are represented there virtually, and there also the consensus for building the AI-based solutions for the next 2 years has been arrived at. One of the key focus areas in global partnership on AI in the meeting that we had this morning has also been to build up collaboration globally amongst various countries and build up platforms for virtual labs and ensure that information and data is shared across geographies, and that would help drive innovation and ensure that better AI based solutions are built. So using such summits, it also builds a platform for bringing together the best of the minds from industry, from academia and government in order to build in order to structure our roadmap towards actually making investments in AI based projects. The race 2021 will also be held in the month of December or January, depending on the availability of honorable prime minister, and we look forward to enhanced partnership from academic institutions, especially IIT Kharagpur and other top Indian academic institutions, to have their insights and suggestions with regard to the way forward for India's AI strategy. The highlights for the last year's global summit, as I mentioned, like we had participation from 147 countries, almost 80,000 people participated. There were 48 sessions over 85 hours in 5 days, 321 speakers, and then maximum in one session, a maximum 39,000 participants were taking part on the virtual platform. And we also had a AI startup challenge in which almost 300 startups participated. So now I would come to like how AI can be used for improving public service delivery, and what are the key top sectors that the government has identified for implementation of AI projects for improving service delivery. So there are several. I will just give some brief examples about 6 sectors, but almost every sector is finding some application for AI or the other. So, like for when we look at AI in healthcare, it can be for disease surveillance, for personalized medicine, for ensuring that customized medicines are given based on the requirements of a person. Then drug design, AI is playing a big role in drug design. In fact, we all read about how AI played a big role in the mRNA vaccines by Pfizer and Moderna. Like a lot of data analytics and AI went into that drug design also. And there are other drugs in which artificial intelligence is being used for working out various combinations and ensuring that the results of a medicine are actually what the researchers have been trying to get. Then drug authenticity check, AI is also being used to ensure that we are able to verify whether the drugs which are being supplied are genuine drugs or not. Some examples with driven by some of our startups in the field of AI. Niramai is a startup which has developed a very good breast cancer screening solution. What it does is that it uses simple tools of image processing for conducting breast cancer screenings in rural areas, and it ensures that that even though specialist doctors are not available or people don't have access to high end oncologists, still breast cancer screenings can be done by using automated image diagnostics, and those who are found to be uh, high risk, then they are subject to other tests in that. Then Vadhvani AI, which is one of our top AI institutions, has been doing research on cough-based TB diagnostics along with the Central Tuberculosis Division of India, and they have been like using a tool that uses the sound of a cough to detect whether somebody is high risk for tuberculosis or not. Similarly, the precision driven health is a startup which is working with the New Zealand's IT sector, and they have developed some solutions for precision medicine, like finalizing a medicine which can be unique for the concerned ailment or the concerned person. So these are some examples for AI in healthcare. Similarly, when you look at agriculture, how agriculture application of AI is happening in the field of agriculture for precision farming or seed development or use of water, pesticides, fertilizers, or AI powered sowing, weather modeling. So there are some examples that I will give. Is like Microsoft has implemented a project in Andhra Pradesh for precision farming. What it does is that it advises farmers about dates on which they should plant their seeds. This is again a simple model which uses data on weather, on local crop history data, the rainfall data, and the soil health card data to advise what crop a farmer should be sowing and when he should be sowing for maximum yield. Similarly, Vadhvani AI has implemented a project in Maharashtra for cotton farmers, in which they use tools based on data that's sent to them by farmers through phones for detecting the prevalence of cotton pests, and this ensures that corrective actions are taken in time, and the loss or damage to the cotton crop is minimized. Then there is another startup called Cropin, which is using AI based SaaS solutions for collective for what it does is that it collects the accurate information about the crop which is growing, the size of the land, and ultimately makes a prediction about the yield of the crop and the income that the farmer is going to get, and that allows farmers to access financial loans. So that is again interesting use of data and AI for extending agricultural credit. So these are like simple applications which work for the benefit of farmers and agriculture, and these are solutions which can be scaled up easily across the country. Then when we come to education, AI has been a key focus in the new education policy. And there is a mention of application of artificial intelligence. CBSE has already recognized it as a curriculum. They are running programs training more than 1 million students in the subject of AI. For higher education also, AI has become a focus area because government realizes that building an AI ready workforce is going to be very important for our future objectives and goals. So then the Atal Tinkering Laboratories, along with the Atal Innovation Mission, has been helping government schools, also implement AI-based projects. In fact, last year we launched a Responsible AI for Youth program along with Intel, and this was only for government schools to give them basic lessons in the field of artificial intelligence. And more than 53,000 government school students enrolled in that program, and 11,000 of them completed the course. And now 100 of them have been chosen for building prototypes with support from Intel and industry after a long period of mentoring and having boot camps for them. And they will be showcasing their projects next week in Delhi when the prototypes that they have built. And these are all school students from government schools. Then in natural language processing, of course, the NLTM, which is being implemented by MeitY along with Ministry of Education, is going to play a big role in ensuring availability of content for school, not only schools but universities also, using the AI. Again, some examples like in Andhra Pradesh, there has been a pilot which has been taken up along with Microsoft, which helps in predicting the school dropout rates and ensures that necessary interventions are taken. Then Baiju and has partnered with Baiju and MindSpark for implementing a solution for personalized learning paths for students. Then then there have been solutions wherein by a company called Convey Genius, wherein what they do is that they create smart content, and then they ensure that students are able to take that and then build up customized learning modules for the students based on their ability to solve certain quizzes. So again, use of AI for predictive learning becomes very useful. There's a company called Imbibe, which has also built a lot of AI based solutions which make learning simpler, easier, fun, and interesting. So there are numerous examples of use of AI in the field of education. Then similarly for AI in urban planning, for traffic distribution, for power management, water distribution, law and order management, there are a lot of examples. Like we recently read about, there's a solution, all the challans that we get, the traffic challans. In fact, Delhi, so I don't know about Kharagpur, but Delhi, the moment you jump a red light or the moment you violate a traffic rule, automatically there are cameras which take pictures of your number plate, and you get challans on your mobile phone. And then it's very difficult to challenge that, and most people do that. And how is it being powered? It's being powered by the solution, AI based solution, by a company called Niantic. And their technology, their image processing technology, is able to identify number plates even in low light. Even if the number plate is like sprinkled with mud or something, dirt, then also they are able to recognize the number plates. So that solution is, Niantic is not has not only provided the solution to Delhi, but they are also one of the top such solution providers to various states in the United States. Then we read about how Ola has acquired an AI startup called Pickup.ai. What is does is that it optimizes the travel flow. So based on the data that's coming in of various rides, they build up a solution which helps them in further expanding their market and ensuring more revenue for them. Then Swiggy and all, they are also using AI based solution for ensuring that if there is a delivery agent who is going on a particular route and there are multiple orders on that route, all of it is picked there, so that their cost of delivery comes down, and operational efficiency comes up. Then Google implemented a project in Bihar, wherein they used IMD data and rainfall data for a better Google flood forecasting model. And what it helped is that, like, people were able to get warnings with regard to impending water levels in river Ganges more than 2 days in advance compared to normal time. And that helped the administration and people to evacuate themselves in safe locations, and saved a lot of life and property. And this solution is now being expanded to other flood prone areas in the country. Then similarly, there are other applications. I will just mention that, not go into examples for want of time, but there are numerous examples for applications of AI in the field of rural planning, telehealth, tele-legal services, early flood warning system, water resource management, wherein these can be used. Then AI in security, as I mentioned, financial frauds. These days, what we have seen is that as digital transactions have gone up, digital payments have gone up, and a lot of people are using online payments. But at the same time, while online payments is going up, online digital frauds have also gone up. बहुत सारे लोगों ने, आपने लोगों ने सुना होगा कि जामताड़ा से लोग फोन करते हैं, ओटीपी लेते हैं, फ्रॉड्स करते हैं. तो एआई के एप्लीकेशन से ये फाइनेंशियल फ्रॉड्स को भी डिटेक्ट किया जा सकता है. बहुत लोग लोन्स अप्लाई करने में फ्रॉड करते हैं, वो तरह तरह के सॉल्यूशंस यूज करते हैं फॉर डिफ्रॉडिंग बैंक्स. बट बैंक्स में भी पैटर्न रिकॉग्निशन का सिस्टम होता है, एआई बेस्ड सॉल्यूशंस होते हैं, सो दैट इन केस देयर आर समबडी हु इज trying to game the system, AI based solutions can detect that. AI also plays a big role in cyber security, cyber storm में कि like अगर suddenly there are requests coming in, API hits are coming in from a particular IP number, then AI based solutions can detect that. And then any abnormal behavior on a IT based system also can be detected with AI based systems. Then e-authentication, border management, in all such fields AI is being used. So overall, I will just sum up now about what I've been saying is that our approach, India's approach, has been to be the garage of the world. कि इंडिया में अगर कोई सॉल्यूशन चल जाता है, अगर हमने हेल्थ केयर के लिए कोई सॉल्यूशन बनाया है, अगर हम कैटरैक्ट डिटेक्ट कर रहे हैं इमेज प्रोसेसिंग से, एआई बेस्ड सॉल्यूशन से, या फिर हम डायबिटिक रेटिनोपैथी, डायबिटीज डिटेक्ट कर रहे हैं रेटिना की इमेज को लेकर के, या फिर प्यूपिल को डिटेक्ट करके हम किसी की हेल्थ कंडीशन को, जो आंख की पुतली होती है उसकी, आई ऑक्यूलस करके कंपनी है, उसकी अगर इमेज लेकर के हम उसको डिटेक्ट कर रहे हैं. सो दीज कैन नॉट ओनली वर्क इन इंडिया, but they will be applicable, they will be as useful in any other country as it's in India. So the idea is to use the data sets that are available in India, build up solutions, and then scale it up for implementing elsewhere. अभी पैंडेमिक के दौरान एक कंपनी आर्ट पार्क ने एक सॉल्यूशन बनाया, एक्सरे सेतु। उस पे व्हाट्सएप पे एक्सरे इमेजेस भेजने से कोविड की कितनी पॉसिबिलिटी और डिटेक्ट हो जाती थी। और उसके बाद इट ऑल्सो गेव एन एडवाइस दैट वेदर यू रिक्वायर एन एचआरसीटी और नॉट। तो एचआरसीटी कराने में ऑलमोस्ट 5 से 6 हज़ार रुपए का खर्चा आता है। सो इंस्टेड ऑफ डूइंग दैट, गेट अ लो कॉस्ट एक्सरे डन, send that image to that X-ray Setu on WhatsApp, and then it will tell you what is the requirement of doing an HRCT or not. So AI-based health solutions can really help building health solutions, and these solutions can not only be used in India but for the whole world. Similarly, agriculture we have already spoken about. Then NLP based solutions like how language translation, voice based solutions can be developed using AI. And ultimately, objective is that all the public digital platforms that we are building should be leveraging AI for improving service delivery. And all that also shows is that like the summary of that is that we are at a cusp of AI revolution. We have a huge IT industry which is conducive for AI to flourish. We have the largest data market. We have a lot of startups that are working in the field of AI, a lot of government initiatives, whether it's the global partnership on AI or the national AI portal. In fact, national AI portal, the indiaai.gov.in, is something that every one of you should go to. वहां पर सारे एआई के बारे में जो दुनिया भर में काम हो रहा है, या एकेडमिक इंस्टीट्यूशंस में काम हो रहा है, या गवर्नमेंट में काम हो रहा है, या इंडस्ट्री में काम हो रहा है, स्टार्टअप्स में काम हो रहा है, उसके सारे एग्जांपल्स दिए जाते हैं और उसको उपयोग करके पीपल कैन बेनिफिट अ लॉट. indiaai.gov.in is the national AI portal of India. Then we have a partnership with the US in the field of AI. Then रेस 2020 मैंने बताया. फिर फ्यूचर स्किल्स प्राइम एक हमारा पोर्टल है जिसमें AI बेस्ड कोर्सेज अवेलेबल है. So all the young students who have logged in today, if they want to learn more about AI, आप कहाँ जा सकते हैं? अगर आपकी यूनिवर्सिटी और कॉलेज में कोई कोर्स नहीं पढ़ा रहे हैं या फिर आप ऑनलाइन अच्छे कोर्सेज सीखना चाहते हैं, तो futureskillsprime.in हमारी एक वेबसाइट है जो हमने इंडस्ट्री और नास्कॉम के साथ डेवलप की. उसमें लॉट ऑफ AI बेस्ड कोर्सेज आर अवेलेबल दैट कैन इजीली बी यूज्ड फॉर लर्निंग मोर अबाउट AI. साइबर सिक्योरिटी में एआई के बारे में भी हमारे यहाँ एक टास्क फोर्स है जो काम कर रही है. देन बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस के बारे में हम एग्जांपल्स देते हैं. एक हम एआई पे चर्चा प्रोग्राम करते हैं एवरी मंथ, जिसमें हम एआई के एग्जांपल्स के बारे में देते हैं, डेमो देते हैं, टूल किट देते हैं और इन प्रोजेक्ट्स को कैसे अडॉप्ट किया जा सकता है स्टेट्स में, उसके बारे में सपोर्ट देते हैं. फिर कंप्यूट इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर एरावत, जैसे मैंने बताया, सीडाक इज बिल्डिंग अप अ सुपर कंप्यूटिंग कॉल्ड एरावत which will have computing power of almost 790 AI petaflops. Then Param Siddhi was built last year, which is 210 AI petaflops. And then together we hope to expand the compute capability that is available in India. I would say that we need to do more, but hopefully we'll have sufficient investments for ensuring building up our compute infrastructure. Challenges, as I have mentioned, is that a lot of policies, framing policies on which the government is already working on. The national strategy on AI is there. National program on AI is being built up, and ensuring that the standard policies are applicable across the country for building the right data governance framework and ensuring that AI-based solutions can be easily developed. Then data scarcity, we have a lot of data, but very often it's not structured data. So ensuring the data governance practices is one of the challenges that we are trying to address. Then there are a lot of AI projects which fail because of non-complete focus. So for that, we have provided under the national program on AI mentoring support for AI projects and ensuring that there are experts in the field of AI who are able to guide all those who are implementing AI-based projects. Then for reskilling and upskilling of IT manpower from school level to highest level, these challenges are there. We need to provide support for that. The Future Skills Prime or the Responsible AI for Youth, these programs are there for building AI-based skills. Then a lot of privacy and security issues come in when we talk about AI projects, about data thing. So a lot of people say that we do not have a personal data protection bill, but hopefully the India's data protection bill will become a reality very soon, and that would ensure that we all have the legal and judicial ecosystem that is required for building AI-based solutions. So with that, I'll just culminate by saying that the way ahead for India will be to promote research in AI-based technologies, to increase the funding for our top academic institutions for building solutions, to work in partnerships with industry for building transformational projects in the field of AI. Then invest money for building solutions in the natural language processing by use of AI. Then collaborate collaborate with industry and collaborate with academia for taking up more R&D projects, and ultimately work closely with the global community for building more AI based solutions. So with that, I would conclude and hopefully expect that we have some time for any questions.
Thank you so much. This was such a punch that a person of AI like me has got totally excited. Uh, you know, uh, I must really thank you because a large number of Indians do not have, not even Indians, even all over the world, including our diaspora, have little idea of this huge gamut of AI initiatives that is going on in the country. And I think one question that would come to everybody from student to everybody else is how can we learn more about the AI initiatives of India, both government as well as private and academic, uh, in a much better manner than what is available by going through portals. So, we understand that you are disseminating this, but I believe that everybody is excited and would want to know where can I get to understand things better in a more structured manner. That I think is very important.
I think I missed you the last part.
Yeah, where you talked about the India AI portal in india.ai.gov.in, but are there any, like your talk was a compact talk covering everything. Are there places where we can drill down into any of these details and get more information?
Yeah, in fact, I must say that for putting these slides together, in fact, I had to do a little bit of patchwork, because what
Hmm.
happens is that very often in the government we make customized PPTs for various purposes.
Hmm.
But so indiaai.gov.in does give the complete AI story, the documentation. We have all the presentations that we have. The Raise 2021 sessions are available, videos are available. So what we have done is that indiaai.gov.in is the repository for accessing all the information regarding there. There is a directory of startups. There's a directory of solutions which are there, and the team there is very responsive. In so that in case there is any any queries or any questions there, they that is also provided on the portal. So I think india.gov.in is the go-to place
Yeah.
for getting all
Right.
complete information with regard to India's AI story.
So thank you. I think what we'll do is from NDLI, we will try to also put all that information in NDLI so that people can get it through one search and try to do something. The second thing which everybody wants to know is that how can we participate, even in a small way, in this huge initiative that India is taking up? And I know that people have hundreds of ideas which may be wrong or right, but how would a student uh, know what is the right thing to, what is the way to participate in? I'm not even talking about a student having ideas. That is one way. The other is, how do I get to participate in a small way in some of the initiatives? Is there a mechanism to do that?
See, like we do have these events in which we give a lot of we get speakers from across the world, global speakers, and then they give demos about various projects. So and then we do a lot of ideation also, and we get suggestions and ideas with regard to what the government should be doing. And then we had the AI challenge last year, in which we called for projects from students or startups, and we also allowed students who are not even registered as startups to take part. And even if they have an idea that they want to build something, and then if the idea was found to be feasible, then there was a provision for funding for building the prototype. So I think those who are interested in building AI should look for such opportunities. Maybe it will be launched again very soon for this year's edition. They should do that. Those who are wanting to learn AI, they should access the lessons that are available on Future Prime Skills and use that. And if there is any other idea or requirement, please do reach out to us, and we'll try to see how best we can meet that requirement depending on the specific use case.
Yeah, that is why my request is that if the NDLI clubs can become part of your initiatives in some way, so that all the initiatives that are taking place can also be communicated to the NDLI clubs, I think we will reach a large audience also, which are very keen. You have, in your presentation, I had made a list of 15 questions. You have actually answered all those questions in your presentation. So, it was so interesting. And I don't know how to thank you enough. We are really grateful that you have taken up your time from this. Uh, I know that we are shooting out of time, and we can go on for some more ages to discuss this. But I would really think that if we can find a way to engage large number of students both in three levels. One is the level of awareness which you are doing. The second is the level of competence improvement. This is because, you know, if we can get more information of what should be the new way of educating people for AI, that I think is a very important thing as to what should be a new way, because the traditional way of education has all changed. Now mechanical engineering, electrical engineering has been all broken down into this. So for AI, what are your views on how education should change at various levels for AI, for AI enablement of the nation?
See, the starting of AI is data science. And AI, so data science can be the beginning of it. So whether you do your statistics or number crunching well, that would become like the beginning of getting into the field of AI. And once you start looking at data and trying to notice patterns in the data, this means you are on the right track for going on to the next level, which is machine learning. And from data science you go to machine learning, and when you are able to do that, then maybe AI based modeling you can think of. Like, can I and AI is what, basically anything that one can think of and predict quickly without thinking long. If a human mind can do something very simply, a machine can do that. If that can be programmed. So something that requires deep thinking, like writing a poem and all, I don't think so far, maybe in future, I don't know. There are no AI based tools which can write a poem or make a painting, though there are some solutions which are coming up there. But if there is anything which it can be predicted very easily by human, then that kind of thing can be done by a machine also. And when the machine does it, it doesn't make any mistakes. Like for example, doctors, whenever we are suffering from cough and cold, when we go to the doctor will ask, khansi hai, sardi hai, fever kitna hai, typical questions will ask. But sometimes if the doctor is overworked, he might miss out one of the questions, कि खांसी पूछा, सर्दी पूछना भूल गया. So, but if you have designed an AI based doctor, then the AI based doctor will never miss out this question, and then
So
he will be able
trackers.
to prescribe. Huh?
Trackers. So AI based
Huh.
tracking of symptoms and things like that.
Tracking of systems, and then simple things can be like automated. So AI based tool is possible. So once, and that is also you can do manually also. And very often we also become doctors when our children are sick. Then first element we ask कि क्या क्या है, and then we give him a crocin. Even though we are not a doctor, we are able to do that. So when we are doing that, we are actually working and thinking like a machine learning AI algorithm, because it's based on legacy data. We have a pattern that we know that if this happens, then even if I go to a doctor, he will give this only. So I have trained my mind to work like that. So similarly, if we have to understand AI, very simple analogy, but that's how ultimately actually it works even for complex cases. So language translation, how does it happen? How does YouTube give your recommendations, or Netflix? If you're watching on Netflix, it will give you, oh, you have watched this, so you may like this also. No, or if you have watched a particular YouTube, it will give you recommendations. They're all AI based recommendations. They are based on your past browsing habit, because if the machine knows that if you watch this, next you watch this. So based on that, they give predictions, or the genre of movies. If you're watching, say, horror movies, then it will keep on recommending you horror movies. So that's how it learns based on your pattern. So similarly, for learning AI, I would suggest to start with data science, go to machine learning, and then look at how some AI based simple models are made, and then you will start thinking like an AI scientist.
So I will not take too much of your time. I know you're very busy. I'll ask you one last question. This is more philosophical because people think that AI will take over human beings. And there is this whole question which talks about AI becoming more powerful than human beings. And what is your take on that? How does society move forward to ensure? You talked about responsible, ethical AI and things like that. So let us end up with this question about what will AI do to the human being?
See, that's a very relevant and a pertinent question, and which the whole world is grappling over, because once once we are creating AI based tools which can think better, smarter than human beings, then a time may come when it may control the humans. So that's why there's a worldwide consensus on ethical AI, responsible AI, but these things are easier said than done. We need to have AI regulations, and to ensure that what all AI should do and what all AI should not do. AI can build driverless cars. AI can build a lot of applications for which are in the benefit of mankind. But wherever it goes into a domain where it starts doing things which it should not be doing, or like designing its own algorithm, which may lead to worst of disasters, then I think there is a need for regulating that. There is a need for controlling that. There is a need for ensuring ensuring norms are there to prevent its violation. Again, how it will be done? In fact, already there is a talk about how do we regulate AI in social media. What all Facebook does, what all Instagram does, like giving you, listening to you, using data that's without your consent, and then giving you suggestions which you don't want, and trying to manipulate democracies, trying to manipulate minds of people. So these can be very dangerous domains. So before they become like too dangerous, we do need to have regulations to regulate them. We need to clearly demarcate what is allowed, what is not allowed, and how the consent architecture, basically doing something without anybody's consent, that needs to be regulated. But yes, it's a big debate. It's not, there are no easy solutions to that, because it's not that easy a problem. But yes, we need regulations to ensure that we have ethical, responsible AI without any bias, ensuring that AI remains fair and just.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This was a very exciting lecture and a discussion. Uh, on behalf of the National Digital Library of India and all the clubs, I would like to really thank Abhishek for this wonderful talk. Even I myself, as I just said, was getting, goosebumps seeing each one of the initiatives that have been mentioned. And I think the whole nation and its students would be very keen to become part of this initiative. We will be happy to call you again and your team and become part of this big movement through the clubs. I will hand it over to Vignesh, Dr. Vignesh, and to complete the session. And on my behalf, I again thank you, Abhishek. This was just too good.
Sure.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for the wonderful session, sir. So, if you permit me, there was a one important question that one of the participants has asked: when will India become the AI superpower? That is the question one of the participants has asked. So, I thought I will ask you.
I think the day the youth of India and the participants who are taking part, if they start thinking in terms of building AI based solutions, that day will become. So it will again, it will be not be done by the government or by, if I may say, people of our generation. It will be done by the youth of India. It will be done by them. So we have a lot of hope in our startups and young students, and I am sure with their enterprise, with their interest, in the next 5 to 10 years, we should be able to become one of the leading AI superpowers.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for this very promising lecture and the promising motivational words. With this, we have come to the conclusion of this session. On behalf of the National Digital Library and the NDLA club members, we would like to thank Abhishek sir for taking out time from his busy schedule. I know he was in a meeting with the minister, but still he took out time and he has joined us on time. So thank you so much, sir, for being with us, and also thank Professor Chakrabarti, who has been like so busy, but still he took out time and he said, "I will be there and I will host the session." So thank you so much for being with us, sir, and all the participants. I think we have had over 1,000 participants joining live for this session, which is one of the highest numbers so far for this NDLA club meeting. So we thank each one of the participants who have joined us for this session. With this, we are going to end this session. Keep joining us for the next event. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Vignesh. It was a pleasure.